Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've had a couple questions about where I keep my art supplies and my printmaking tools, so I thought I'd put together this video showing my art supply toolbox. So originally I put this box together when I was printing at a co-op back in Portland. It was a really easy way to kind of bring all my supplies with me and then at the end of the day, take them all back home. So I got in the habit of keeping the most important tools I'd use in this box all the time. And ever since then, I've just always kept them in there. So if you have any questions about anything you see, leave them down in the comment box and I'll be happy to answer. So let's go. So originally I started looking online for a nice toolbox I could use, looking on eBay and Craigslist, and I couldn't really find anything that was in really good shape, so I decided to restore an old one. So I found this box originally on Craigslist for I think $30. And so here are a couple pictures of what it used to look like. And then I sanded it all down, restained it, cleaned up the hardware, ripped out all the insides, and then put in new felt and new pads inside all the drawers. It's pretty secure too, because on the sides here, it has the latches in the front, and it also has a couple latches here on the side. When you have the latch closed, this front cover can't open. But once you open the lid up, then you can open up this cover and access all the drawers on the inside. Alright, so I'll start with the top of the box. Try to keep this steady as possible. So I'll line the bottom of the tray in here with a thick foam pad, and the top is just regular felt. So this is where I keep all my printmaking inks. So here obviously we have a palette knife. And then tucked back here I have a couple of old cards that I use. So I use these to pick up paper off the press. So you don't have to wear gloves, you can just grip it with these and get them inky on the outside and it keeps them clean on the inside. So starting over here I have my Akua Intaglio Ink. So this is Mars Black, and then this is the mag mix that you use to make the ink a little bit thicker if it's too thin, which usually it's too thin coming out of the tube. Then next to it here we have the Skin Safer Barrier Cream, which if you put this on your hands before you start using any inks, it really makes it easy to get off afterwards. It creates like a thin film between you and the ink. And then tucked back here I have a tube of Graphic Chemical Blue-Black etching ink. For some reason this tube is so stiff you can't get any ink out of it. I'm going to have to probably cut it open next time I want to use it. And it's fairly new as well, so maybe I just got a bad batch. Here we have Graphic Chemical Easy Wipe Compound, which I use to thin out the etching inks. Next to that's a big tub of the blue-black etching ink. And it's the ink I use the most recently, so that's what's in the box. And then I have a couple other containers of different inks elsewhere. And then over here we have 1 pound of the Graphic Chemical whitening powder, which I use when I'm hand wiping after I use the tarlatan and get the ink all off the plate. Then for the final hand wiping I dust a little bit of whiting onto my palm. Then this front row is all the relief inks, and they're all Gamblin. So over here we have transparent base, titanium white, yellow, red, blue, this is sepia, and then Portland Intense Black here at the end. And I don't do a whole lot of relief printmaking lately, but it's a good place to keep all my inks. That way they're all together. So now I'll move into the next drawer. So over here we have Nori Paste, which I use for Shinkolay, and I'll link to a video where I use Shinkolay so you can see that process if you're interested. And then back here I have an old toothbrush. Well, it's never been used for brushing your teeth, but it's an old toothbrush just so I can clean out linoleum plates when I'm working on those, or just get debris out of the way when you're working on things. I have a small file, and this is a small ball burnisher. So it's just rounded at the end, so it lets you burnish a really small area, and you don't have to worry about gouging into the plate so much as you would with like a regular burnisher. And then here's a Mezzotint Rocker, and I do all my plates using a pole rocker that I have another video that I'll link to, but I use this if I need to make a correction to a plate, or if I want to rock a new plate while I'm out somewhere. It's nice to just have one with me. Then here we have a piece of steel wool, which I use to polish up the front of a plate. But usually with Mezzotint, you know, I'm rocking the entire face of the plate, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. But for etchings and things like that, it's nice to clean up the front of your plate first. This drawer over here is all my drawing supplies that I use most frequently. So back here we have Pitt artist pens. So it's just a 4-pack of just kind of the most popular sizes that I've been using lately. Then over here, just a couple of regular graphite pencils. And I used to do all my drawings using just regular graphite pencils. And then I got turned on to using a lead holder. So I'm using this Staedtler Mars Technico lead holder. So it holds 2mm lead, and you can buy all the different types of lead that fit into it. And they just slide right out. And it holds up a lot better than a regular graphite pencil. It makes drawing just feel completely different than it used to. I love it. And here I have a small scale bar. Has a couple different architectural scales on it. I mainly use it just for a straight edge. Little baby Sharpie, mechanical pencil, and then this Staedtler Tri Plus Fine Liner pen, which is similar to the Pitt pens. I think I use this one the most though. And we have a couple of replacement leads for the lead holder. I think these are 2B. And then down here we have a couple of erasers. I like to use the mechanical erasers. So I have a bigger one, and then I have a small one here that lets you get really small detailed areas and erase out those. And lastly here, just a small gum eraser. Let's move on to the next one here. So all these drawers come out completely. So you might have seen this one in some of my other videos if you watched them. These are all my printmaking tools. So I have a whole separate video that goes through all of these tools. So I'll put a link down in the description box, and also at the end of the video I'll have a link to it, so if you want to see that video. But so all the tools fit inside little custom made slots. So it has a profile of every tool. So that way when I'm transporting it, they fit in there nicely.
So the tool holder is made in 3 parts. The first part is a piece of foam glued inside the box to keep the tools from rubbing on the wood. Second is another piece of foam glued on top of that, and the shape of all the tools cut out with room for your fingers to grip them. And finally, a piece of fabric was glued over the entire thing using spray adhesive.
So this is kind of a miscellaneous drawer. So I have a sheet of this drawer liner, which I use for putting on the table when I'm rocking a plate. It gives it something to stick down to. And then over here I have a couple of just old copper plates that I've used just for scrap, for kind of testing, and then eventually I'll end up beveling them down and then rocking these plates for new prints. And I have a couple of old strips from an old print that I cut off that I'll probably actually use for a new print eventually. Then inside the paper towel here, I have a Mezzotint plate that I pre-rocked. The one that I was working on of Ginsberg. And I think this is another, just another rocked plate that's ready to go. And I just keep them rolled up in a paper towel to keep them from getting scratched up, because the Mezzotint ground's pretty fragile. You don't want to risk them bumping into another plate or getting torn up. So I just roll them up in a paper towel, and it keeps them pretty safe in here. This is another Mezzotint plate that I use for a Phases of the Moon print that I don't think I made a video of that one. So that Phases of the Moon print, if you're curious. Here's the plate, or the print from that plate, and then it reflects onto a pipe here, and you can see the phases of the moon. It's kind of an anamorphic image. Anyways, back to the toolbox. Here we have the final drawer down here. So a couple of sketchbooks, always good to have with you wherever you are. This is just a Moleskine, just regular sketchbook. Not sure what's in this one. Kind of just where I jot down my ideas for prints, and here's the original sketch from my 3 Laws print, kind of the first idea that I had. Just some regular, just sketches. Under here, pair of scissors, always important. And I have an 18-inch ruler over here, straight edge. Compass. Roll of tape, and I use the 3M blue tape, which really comes off nice and clean. You don't have to worry about peeling it up and making a mess everywhere like cheap masking tape. Then here I have a regular pencil sharpener, and then the sharpener for the lead holders. And it's a little bit different. You stick the whole lead holder in there and spin it around. It sharpens it to a really nice fine point. Then we have a triangle and a house template. You mainly use just the circle template on the side. X-Acto blade. On the inside, Beavis and Butthead here. I keep all my replacement blades. Then I have a new block of resin engrave, which is used for engraving. Instead of using like end-grain wood, it's like a wood substitute. That stuff's really great to use, so I might do a video showing engraving on that coming up. And so that's it for the toolbox. So when I'm done, this front panel just slides up, locks down, and you're ready to go. Alright, so that wraps up this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment box and I'll be happy to answer. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up if you liked it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.